Inside a Northwest Ohio plant as a roof collapses with workers inside, killing one person, trapping another, injuring two others. News 11 has been bringing you constant information on this breaking news all afternoon, as well as the first live pictures from Fremont. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Peterson. Jerry Anderson is out live tonight on the ground in Fremont. Jerry?
Yeah, Chris, we are at the Fremont Company here in Fremont. The scene this afternoon of extreme tragedy, but also some triumph. What a wave of emotions here this afternoon. And right now around me, it's just so quiet. It's like everybody is just taking a deep breath and is now taking in what happened here this afternoon. So let's review what happened here this afternoon. We are on Front Street here in Fremont, Ohio, and the Fremont Company, built back in the 1970s, a maker of sauerkraut and ketchup and barbecue sauce. It's a pretty busy time of year for them. Well, this afternoon, an outside construction crew from B&W Welding right here in Fremont was inside. We were told putting up columns and working to shore up the roof. The roof is an 8-inch thick concrete roof, but they had determined it needed shoring up. Well, the tragic proof of that was borne out this afternoon when shortly before 2 o'clock this afternoon, the roof gave way. Thousands of pounds of concrete came tumbling down. One person lost their life immediately. The remains still in the building. More on that coming up. Another person was injured severely enough to be taken from here to Fremont Memorial Hospital and flown to Toledo by air ambulance. That person works for B&W. A Fremont Company worker injured slightly, treated and released at the Fremont Memorial Hospital. But then the real touchy story, the touch-and-go story of this afternoon, played out over the next several hours, and Rob Brzezinski's alongside because a B&W employee, a guy by the name of Todd Michael, was in there. He was injured and trapped, Rob, I understand, by his legs under thousands of pounds, and yet was awake and coherent through all of it.
Dozens of fire and rescue crews come to his aid, trying to free him from those tons of rubble. A part of this situation include a surgeon being flown here to the scene in case emergency surgery was needed to amputate the legs because of all that weight that was being placed on Mr. Michael's legs. Let's take a look at the video. After 4 hours of being trapped, here was the scene. Under tons of concrete, pressure on his legs, Todd Michael was pulled from underneath that rubble. Now, we're being told that emergency surgery to amputate his legs was not needed, and according to the fire chief here in Fremont, he says they have good reason to believe that Mr. Michael will survive this ordeal.
I heard him talk. That is great news. Excellent. Great news for this
So no
family.
amputation of the legs?
No, he is I don't know the status of his legs, but he is just he's at least awake, and he has both of his legs.
Now, Jerry, obviously, it's not out of the woods by any means. However, I mean, just that 4 hours of having that much weight on your legs and then all that pressure being taken off, obviously there was that concern that, there was going to be a lot of bleeding, a lot of shock, what have you. Right now, as it stands, emergency officials believe that he is going to survive this ordeal. So as much as there are lows that somebody has died, there is those highs that somebody has been saved.
That's the triumph versus the tragedy I referred to earlier. And again, what a tremendous tribute to a huge joint operation in there. Toledo Fire and Rescue was down. Got to tell you, when we first got down here, they had already been in with these bags from B&W that they inflate to lift weight. They said it could lift 17,000 pounds. They went to inflate it. It could not budge that concrete. That's what we were dealing with. Yeah. And Mr. Michael, I'm told, was aware of that the whole time, in fact, estimated what the weight was.
And that's the thing, is they just had to take their time and just a little piece here, a little piece there, and just figure out what that magic formula was to get all that pressure off.
As big and as heavy as that slab of concrete is, it was described to me as brittle. The fear was if they tried to move it by a crane in a piece, it could actually collapse and take yet another life or lives. During that time, and Tim Miller had this story for us earlier, an amazing story, they were with Mr. Michael the entire time, right with him, trying to reassure him, talking to him, and they even gave him, at one time, a cell phone.
Yeah, they were working on that. If you can kind of see the scene, a couple of firefighters right there. Don't know how long it took for them to get him. Maybe they had to move some rubble, but had firefighters right there kind of talking to him, helping him. As you mentioned, he knows a lot of this work. He was describing what they had to do to get him out of there. Very knowledgeable about this, but they wanted to get a cell phone down to him to get a family member on the phone to kind of calm him, bring him that presence. Apparently their hard work paid off here.
What a triumph that rescue was, but now the operation here at Fremont Company has shifted. It has gone from rescue. We believe, we know successful in so much as a person alive and expected to live on has been taken out of here. But now the tone, the tenor changes, Tim. This now becomes a recovery operation. dicey in its own regard.
It is. Fremont Police Chief Tim Wiersma also telling us, in the same breath he tells us about the great rescue and the good news about Mr. Michael, he said, the next thing is getting the victim's remains, the worker who did not survive. They're still not releasing his name. Some family members, we're told, are here at the scene, others are not. He wants to give them time to kind of get together, spread the news. But as you mentioned, there's all this jagged rubble and the concrete. They want to carefully remove those remains. They want to keep the firefighters as safe as possible, so that could take some time here. But obviously, unfortunately, time not of the essence here because they do not have someone living and breathing in there. But they want to get him out for the family, but they also want to do it in a safe manner. We already have one firefighter who was overcome by heat exhaustion, Jerry, and we understand he was treated here at the scene, so he is doing well. But it's not only the heat, but of course the rubble that's still around. They want to keep these firefighters and workers, EMS workers, protected as much as they can.
I talked with a firefighter from Ballville Township. He's here. Several townships are here, along with the Fremont Fire Department, Toledo Fire and Rescue, the Clyde Mobile Command Unit came pulling up here. And he said at this point in time, Jerry, the emphasis is on safety of the rescuers, so we will take the necessary time. And he did indicate to me, Tim, that this could go well into nightfall in terms of recovering the remains of a person who apparently died instantly in the collapse of a large section of concrete roof here at the Fremont Company. That's the situation at the Fremont Company. The recovery operation is ongoing in very somber tones right now, following an amazing rescue effort this afternoon. Along with Rob Rosinski and Tim Miller, I'm Jerry Anderson. We're live in Fremont. Let's get it back to the studio.
Jerry, great coverage from the team there, and all afternoon we have been receiving pictures from the scene from you, our viewers, giving us some different views of the situation there. Here are several that were sent to our See It, Snap It, Send It site. You can see the various emergency rescue teams that responded, ambulances, fire trucks, helicopters from many nearby cities and counties answering the call there. And as Jerry said, not only a heroic rescue effort, but a very delicate rescue effort, trying to lift those tons of cement off of Mr. Michael. And then now, as rescue crews are still there, trying to recover the body of the worker who was killed in this roof collapse.